YouTube. It's BurgerBob/Aiden, whatever you want to call me. That was chromatic scale, major, minor, augmented, diminished arpeggios in F sharp on a new instrument. This was in a video yesterday. I'm making a lot of videos lately. I've been sick. I've been at home a lot. And I've had a lot of ideas for videos. And a lot of new things. So I want to talk about this. This is my new Bach 50B. I've already owned one of these horns. Almost just like this, but not really. Not quite. 50B means it's a Bach 50, so it's the bass. And the B just means it has one closed wrap rotary valve attachment. That's it. Maybe I'll make a video someday about all the Bach designations, but B just means one valve and it's closed wrap and it's one of these. You'll find a lot of bells on Bachs. We'll just say, like this one, yeah, this just says 50B, so it's actually correct. But a lot of bells will just say 50BG, and they'll have two valves and they're Thayers or something. Like, they're not always, the bell stamping is not always exactly what the horn is. I'm not sure if I don't think they designate bells always before they go to instruments, so sometimes they'll just say, it is a 50B, but it's going to have Thayers on it and stuff. I don't know if they stamp like 50 A3s with a 50 A3 on it. I'm not sure. Anyway, 50B. I've already owned one of these. My last one was a Corporation instrument, which means it's from before Bach company was bought out. And it was a pretty good horn. Sorry about the coughing, guys. I'm still sick. That horn also had an unlacquered bell. What mods did it have? It had a new, I think, Shire's linkage for the valve, which is pretty fancy. And it also had a Shire's lead pipe collar, so I could put different Shire's lead pipes in it. Right? Yes, and I think it came with like a 1.5 or something. And that was a pretty good instrument. I feel like, and I'm not sure because I play totally different now, I feel like that instrument was pretty bright. I think it was good, but just the general sound was kind of on the brighter side of things. And so I used a counterweight on it. That also kept it a little more balanced. This one is a serial number 39,000 and a couple other digits, which means it's from 1978 or 9, which should be Corporation era. So this slide might be a Corporation slide, but the bell has the new style stamping from the 80s, the one right after Corporation, where it's kind of a lighter stamping and it doesn't say Corporation under the signature. So I'm really not sure when all this instrument is from. I'm kind of guessing it's like right after Corporation era. So this is like one of the first horns they made after they were not Vincent Bach Corporation. And I guess, I don't know, the stamping looks pretty good, so maybe it's like the first time they've used the stamp without the Corporation part. I don't know. I can't really tell. Anyway, I mean, I like Corporation instruments. Obviously, I play mostly those, but this one's really good. I have no complaints about it. It's got the old style linkage, which I actually kind of prefer to the later mini ball stuff, because that stuff, if it gets kind of like worn out, you're screwed. That's just how it is. You have to get new linkage. Whereas this, you can adjust, and I made it pretty quiet. If you slam it, it's loud, but otherwise, it's pretty great. And otherwise, this has no mods, I think. This is pretty beat up. I don't know if you guys can see, but the bell is like super not flat to the ground. Let's take this off. I think you guys can see this wall. The bell does not sit flat against the wall. So if you put this down, it just kind of tips and wants to fall over. It's kind of funny. And there's like some serious damage that has been slightly repaired. You guys can see right here, maybe. You can see the bell wire through the front of the bell. Not probably a good thing, typically. And I think it's been taken apart. There's some solder work down here. But none of the solder work looks super sloppy like it does on some of my other instruments. It's not great, but it's not super sloppy. The slide's been taken apart, and the tubes themselves are not missing a lot of chrome, but they feel like the surface of the moon. These are not in good shape at all. Right now the slide is okay, I just lubed it again, but it's definitely the worst of all my slides right now. For for some reason that doesn't totally bother me. I can still play, but I definitely play with like worse intonation and worse slide technique when I have a worse slide. So that's a downside. How does this play? Yesterday I played this for like 2 hours straight, and I just like could not put my finger on how this instrument played, because it was good, and then it would be really bad, and then it would be really good, and then it'd be really bad. I think a lot of that is me. My face right now is pretty dried out because I'm sick, and I'm like blowing my nose a lot. So I don't think I played very well yesterday. And then also, I had not yet oiled the valve. I hadn't taken it out, cleaned it, and oiled it. And the slide was a little dry. I had put stuff on it, but it had mostly worn off. So I think those three things combined made it sometimes great, because I would play well and maybe the valve would seal well, and then I would not play, I wouldn't use enough air, and the valve would maybe leak, and I would go, man, this thing sucks. So today, I oiled this, I feel a little better, I'm playing better, and the slide is in better shape. Okay, I swear I feel better. And today it feels really, really good. Hopefully that comes across in those, in the F-sharp stuff. But this feels pretty darn even throughout the ranges. Of course, this is one small Bach rotary valve with a closed wrap. So you go, oh, it's really stuffy, right? It would help if I could just play a B flat or A. That's a C sharp. That feels pretty good. That low C feels really good. It does not feel any worse. Maybe it does than my main instrument. It actually feels a little better, I think, than my Conn 60H, because I think that slide leaks a little bit if you get out that far. And this one is such bad shape that it doesn't. I'm not sure how that works. Anyway, now that I've oiled up the valve, that range just feels really good. The thing about the 50B is, yes, it is single, it only has one rotor valve and it's closed wrap. But this setup, with the stock lead pipe, stock slide, stock everything, is very, very well balanced. It's a good instrument. The single 50B is a very good design. Guess what? It's been around forever. It's been proven to be true. Of course, the problem is it only has one valve, so you can't play a bunch of stuff. And when you add another one, it just gets a little bit worse. It's harder to play. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't resonate the same. I'm going to have one of those next week, I think, at 50B2. I've already had two of those. And we'll see how that stacks up against this. But this is just it's such a good instrument. It's very even. As I miss several B flats in a row, it is pretty even. It has some quirks. It likes to rattle. I guess it likes to rattle on B flats. I keep missing those. Sorry, guys. I thought it rattled on F sharp. I think that's probably the valve. I didn't even think about that. So, a big point is keep your valves oiled, because that is like 300% of how well your instrument will play. If your valve isn't sealing, you're going to feel worse about everything. High range, low range, your articulations, your horn is going to feel weird. You just got to keep that valve oiled. And I think that fixed the F sharp ringing. So now this rings on high B flat. Just a little bit. And it's mostly in the bell. I don't think it's back here anywhere. But the high range on this is actually pretty easy. I don't know if I want to play the next part. Yeah, not perfect. I haven't played that in a long time. That was actually very easy. I think that might have been easier than it is on my main instrument. And that's pretty neat. High range. What's going on? Why is that so good? Probably a part of that is due to this gooseneck right here after the valve being pretty long and intact. There's no valve on it. There's no extra stuff. Like on my 50 T3, there is no gooseneck. It's giant valve, little tube in between, giant valve, and then tuning slide. There's no gooseneck at all. There's no tapered tube that, you know, kind of focuses the sound at all. The valves do that and stuff like that, but there's no gooseneck. So yeah, here's my 50B. I don't really know what else to say about it. It really resonates well. I kind of want to use it. I might use it this next weekend. Not this weekend, but the next, on Trombone Christmas. Because it's kind of a beater. I can feel good about taking it outside, getting it beat up. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on this instrument. See you guys next time.